Hey, Will, what's unique about TJ Finley as a quarterback? And another thing I wanted to ask you about, the $1 Million Band will be in New York City at the Macy's Day Parade. Would you like to give him a shout out?
Okay. Oh, okay, I got you. For the first question, he's like the quarterback we just played this weekend. TJ, he's very big. He's long. He can extend plays. He can run. He can throw. He can get out the pocket. So I think it's the same thing as we like kind of seen this quarterback this last weekend. We have to contain him. He's a very capable of making plays and extending plays downfield. So we just have to keep him in the pocket, and we don't want him scrambling too much. And you said a shout out. Oh, most definitely to our band. Good luck. Go out there and do the best you guys do. We love you guys.
Charlie.
Yeah, well, I know you didn't like the questions about you being in the Heisman conversation, but do you think that your quarterback, Bryce, is deserving to be in that mix? And what have you thought of the season that he's had?
Oh, most definitely. I knew from like the first time I met Bryce at All-American, I knew he was going to be a Heisman contender. Bryce is very smart. Like, I'm pretty sure you guys can see on the field, but like outside, I've had classes with Bryce, everything. Bryce is a smart person, and his ability in the football field is even more surprising. Like, he's very smart on the field. The numbers that he's putting up, the stats that he have this year, everything of how he handled everything, especially last year. I feel like he's a great person on and off the field, and he's very, 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 very talented.
Nick.
Well, when you're going against an O tackle, what kind of keys do you play off to know when to dip inside rather than go around them?
I think that all just depends on what play we on. But if it's something that's just like we're playing an even front or something like that, and there's no play being called where I have to do anything like that, I would just try to key like his back leg or see like how he's setting me, as he's oversetting me. I think that's most of the time because most O linemen, they're scared of speed, so they overset you. So the inside is always open. So I think that's one of the things that I really look at and when I watch film.
Ryan.
Well, I asked Bryce this question too, but when you came to Alabama, the Iron Bowl, was there a moment that you were kind of like, this is legit with fans, maybe running into someone at a gas station? Bryce said he was at Walmart. Someone was wearing all Auburn colors, and they were all giving him dirty looks in Tuscaloosa. Did you have a moment where you're like, wow, this rivalry, it's serious?
When I first got here, I knew it was serious. Like before, because I didn't really know anything about Alabama football. Like I was from Georgia, so. But when I first got here and I seen how you go to Walmart and they have like a small section, just like a very small section of Auburn stuff, and it's like one shirt on the aisle, like one shirt. And I said, oh yeah, this is serious. Like, there's no way they don't play when it comes to the Iron Bowl. So I think that's the only experience I had when I seen like that. Just one shirt. It was a rack, and that was the only thing. It was just surrounded by a whole bunch of Alabama stuff.
Steven.
Well, we're starting to see, especially in the last few moments here, where it's you and Dallas Turner competing for who's going to get the sack at the quarterback. I mean, you talked about, his hunger, him wanting football, but could you speak on just his willingness to want it that bad and to want to get those sacks and make those plays?
Football is fun, and that's what I expressed to him, and he's starting to see it's starting to get easy for him now. Like, it's fun when you go out there and get sacks, when you make plays and you get to celebrate with your teammates. And I think that's what he's enjoying about it. Like, he's seeing that, I go out there and make plays. It's getting easy. It's fun. I get to celebrate with my teammates. I get to do this and do that. And I think that's the biggest thing for him. He's out there having fun, and that's what we preach in the locker room. Just go out there and have fun. And I think that's what he's doing, and it's working off well for him.
Michael.
Yeah, what have you heard about playing at Jordan-Hare Stadium? I know you haven't been there as a player yet, but what's that experience like from what you've been told?
I've heard the crowd is going to be rocking. It's going to be a live stadium. The fans are something else, but, we just try to approach every game like how we get ready on Thursdays with crowd noise and everything. So I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be a good atmosphere, and we're ready for the challenge.
Luciano.
Hey, well, despite the season, Tank Bixby had a great game. Despite the loss, Tank Bixby had a great game on Saturday.
Luciano, can you repeat your question?
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry about that. Well, despite the loss, Tank Bixby had a great game on Saturday, and it confirms a great sophomore season for him. What would you say makes him so dangerous, and what is it about that duo that they form with him and Jarquez Hunter that's so hard to defend?
He has a big, strong lower body. He's able to extend plays through his legs, run through defenders and stuff like that, and be able to, get more yards off missed tackles and stuff like that. So I think that's a big part of his game. And I think we just have to do a good job of game tackling him and everybody getting to the ball and everybody rallying to the ball.
John.
Hey, Will, you guys last year dominated so many teams, didn't have a lot of challenges during the season. This year you've been challenged, had some close games, and had to make plays late. Is that frustrating, or do you feel more battle tested going into all the big games on the stretch?
I mean, football is about challenges. Nothing in football is easy. Football, every play is not going to be perfect play. Every game is not going to be a perfect game, but I think it's about how you move on in the type of mentality you have. Yes, we have been in a couple of challenges this year, but I think that's what makes the game of football, and I think it's how you respond. And I think so far we responded great, and we just have to keep building on that each week. And each challenge that we get, we're just going to keep going for it and look at it in a positive way.
Ryan.
Will, Evan Neal, going up against him at practice, what is that like? Is that kind of like an iron sharpens iron situation with you guys? And what kind of physical specimen is he on the field?
That is a 20-year-old myself going against an NFL tackle every day in practice. He is strong. He is a big man. He takes up a lot of space. He has a nice first step. He gets from point A to point B very fast. He's great in run blocking, and that is most definitely iron sharpening iron every day. So I feel like as if I'm going against an NFL tackle every day at practice. I mean, we get each other better, but he's a great player. I think he's the best tackle in college football.
Mike.
Just, Will, with the season you've had, and I'm sure there's been a lot of national attention that you've gotten, just what's been your personal approach to NIL and some of the opportunities that might have been presented to you this year?
I haven't really been looking into any NIL deals right now. I just kind of been low-key. I'm just worried about the season and just waiting to all that stuff to after the season. But right now, my main focus is just playing football right now.
Thanks, Will.
I'm just having gone through most of the season now, just how much is that a topic on a day-to-day basis between players?
Between players, not at all. NIL is something that, we all knew Coach Saban has told us was just kind of an external factor. So for us, when you enter the building, no one's thinking about NIL, no one's thinking about stuff outside. And it's not something we're talking about or consumed about. That's just an external factor for us, especially when you step into the building. So, there hasn't been discussion about it. We're all engaged and locked in on what's important, and that's winning games. So anytime we're in the facility, that's all we're concerned about.
John.
Yeah, Bryce, Mac Jones had kind of an adventure. His first trip to Jordan-Hare Stadium. Has he talked to you about that experience? Have you heard from him at all, or even last season did he talk about it?
Yeah, it was more from learning about. It's really from learning from him first and last year and seeing, the preparation he took into the game and seeing kind of him talking about the growth he had from that, from playing there and, him talking about experience and along with the entire team, talking about experiences and stuff. So, we all know as a team, whatever has happened in the past, positive or negative, it's in the past. So for us, any sort of, whatever it may be, and whatever some team has accomplished, not accomplished, whatever it is, that doesn't, play any role in us. For us, we have to go out there and play against a really, really good team in a really, really hostile environment. And, we have to create our own, legacy and have to, do it for us. So anything that's happened in the past with whatever team that's, you can take stuff and you can watch film and learn from stuff, but that doesn't, play any bearing into what we have to do and improve.
Luciano.
Hey, Bryce, going into the last game of the regular season, what is the most important thing you have learned in your first season as a starter?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'd say the most important thing is just, I think it's just kind of trying to navigate, what's most important as far as having, being successful as an offense, as a team. And I feel like one of the biggest things has just been, communication for myself, from the entire team, and us, making sure we're on the same page. I've understood how important it is for, for me and the line to all know what's going on, the running back to understand what the line's doing, what I'm doing, for receivers to understand what I'm expecting to do, for me to understand what they want, all that. So I really learned, the importance of communication and for us being on the same page. And, that's stuff that we work on day in and day out and stuff that we're still trying to improve on. But that's definitely been, one of the big learning lessons that I've experienced throughout the year.
Final question, Haley.
Bryce, I know you talked earlier about your mental preparation for both you and the rest of the team, but I mean, with this being your first start in a big game, are you nervous at all? I mean, what are you feeling emotionally going into Saturday's game?
Yeah, I wouldn't know if I would say this is my first start in a big game. But really that, it's about, like you said, it's a lot about preparation, and it's a lot about, and it's a lot about, the work you put in throughout the week, and, what we do as a team to prepare. So, nerves aren't really something that comes into play. It's really I've kind of learned it's a byproduct of when you don't feel like you've prepared, you don't feel like you've worked. So for me, what I have to do is throughout this entire week, make sure that I prepare, as I should, and make sure that I work, and as a team, we're together and we worked as we know we should to get better each and every day. And then when you handle that, that's kind of where the nerves leave. But for me, it's all about attacking the week, and, me individually and us as a team collectively putting ourselves in the best position to be successful on Saturday.
We'll end with Tony. Go ahead, Tony.
Bryce, Bo Nix just said that he kind of insinuated that Alabama gets calls in big games. Do you kind of feel that way? And what's your response to that?
Yeah, that's an external factor. That's something as a team we don't look at, we don't control. So, whatever happens that's out of our control, Coach Saban's always, talk to us about making sure that we control what we can control and focus on what we can do. So any external factor, that's not really something that as a team we're concerned about.
Thank you. Will Anderson Jr. will be next.